Good evening and welcome to Keep Evolving Season 2. This is episode number 5. Tunasonga kusonga. I cannot believe it. Thank you for continually being with us, watching us. We really appreciate you. And today, my panelists, for the first time, is an entire stag thing happening here. For the first time, I don't think tushawahi kuwa hivi. Tutauliza mtu mwingine anakuanga pande ile, leo ako pande hii. Kuna first times mingi leo. On my right, yes, again for the umpteenth time, Collins India. And for the very first time, on my left, Martin Ford mwenyewe.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Salimia wananchi, tunawasalimianga pale.
Walisema nasalimia kwa wanasiasa.
Yes. And we want to continue kidogo tu for this episode with the issue of mentorship within families. Na like mimi napenda kusema, kila mtu atoke bedroom into the sitting room. Tuketi hapa, there are things that we need to discuss. And today is about, we'll head towards careers, but kuna ka twist. Tuendelee. Collins,
Yes.
as we begin this today, do you think mentoring within the family has a positive effect?
Yes, it does. A positive and a very big impact in the one who is being mentored, especially the children, because it will help, number one, in the bonding of the parent and the child. And the child, there's this, when you talk about fatherhood and motherhood, it plays a very huge role. And when you go out there, you will know that my father was in this, my mother helped me out here. So you will grow up as a whole being. Not only my parent helped me in this career, you will grow up knowing, not only did they do that, but they helped me in a loving way. So you won't go out there with the notion of, wazazi ni wabaya and all that. You will also be able to help someone out very fast and effective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Collins anasema mambo ya relationships in the house. Mentorship bridges a certain gap. Mato?
For me, by the way, it's my first time nakuanga behind the camera, so today nakuja in front of the camera. So if I have a bit of a selective mutism hapo unaelewa kidogo. Now for me, I would want to throw in a bit of something called stability in a family sense. I'm imagining if my father is a lawyer and I dream to be a lawyer, and my father works in a law firm that I go working in there. And all my life I know my father as my mentor in terms of, or in the career or in the line that I want to become. So somehow, for us as a family, you will find that we become more stable, because if I have to find someone else to mentor me outside of my family, kuna kuwa na ile kind of divided loyalty, or if I can call it that, divided loyalty, because somehow I have someone that I adore, kuna come to napenda huku nje in terms of the careers, from the career perspective outside of the family. But then this is a place where, or it's a time whereby everything that I love is within our family. Like
Yes.
My father is my idol.
And we are not saying that the only mentor you have is like within the family, but we are saying that if it is within the family where you begin, it stabilizes the family.
Yes.
Statistically, one of the biggest things in this age is relationship between children and their parents. And mentorship is being fronted here by these guys as among the things that will begin to gel that family. Dad, umekuwa na issue na kijana, wanamaliza college na akai ni kama anakusikizanga anymore, mentorship. Son, daughter, you're thinking, I don't have a relationship with mom, mentorship. If you choose your parent as your first mentor, out of the blocks, like I need a career. But I want to throw these guys into some deep. He has hinted very well, if my dad is a lawyer and I want to be a lawyer, then it works. But what if now we are feeling like, we hinted at it last week. Dad is an engineer. I want to do law. Jamaa bwana hata ajui mambo ya sheria. Sasa where is mentorship coming in? Where in careers that are different. And I want to take it just a little bit further and talk about non-traditional careers. The family has come through all these years. Babu, great-grandfather, doctor. Grandfather, engineer. Father, lawyer. Like the traditional careers are well represented. And then mimi nimekuja with my all that pedigree, you know, we can call it pedigree, and I want to pursue music, or I want to pursue my sports, you know. Nasikianga vile kina who are these great footballers of Kenya, they are being paid good money in Europe, in elsewhere, and I nikipepeta ball, it comes through nicely. Now we want to ask, is it still beneficial? Like, can I still find a mentor within the home to mentor me into these careers?
Tricky. First of all, it starts with acceptance. Well, it helps a great deal when you accept that my son, my daughter, wants to do a career that I cannot really refer to as a career, because you know our parents wamezoea suit and tie, office, front of paperwork and all that stuff. And then me paperwork naona makaratasi najua tu
unachoka
tie nasikia inaninyonga. Acceptance, first of all, ni acceptance, and for me, I pray that our parents may depend on God more than they depend on themselves, you know, because the children are a gift from God, you know, and we don't want to copy paste our lives into the children, you know. So if we come from the point of, wow, God, my son wants to be a musician, mimi ile muziki najua tu ni ile nasikiza kwa radio. I don't know how to mentor this person. So instead of ikuwe ni vita nyumbani, why don't we just start and not really push your idea, but okay, how did you come about it? From a sense of, mimi najua nikienda niombe Mungu atanisaidia nimsaidie. Si naenda kuomba Mungu akemee hiyo pepo
pepo ya mpira.
Pepo ya mpira.
Awesome.
Well, I don't know if you're pointing at me.
Yes, I am. I'm holding my breath so that you can begin.
No, I wanted to begin by using this word, predicament. When you have these people who be, you know, like lawyers, doctors, and they've created a name for themselves in these states, and then there's this one who just comes out like, you know, like, this is the weird one.
Yes.
He wants to be a musician.
Yes.
Like, where the hell did you
Wewe ni wanani?
Umetokea wapi? But then this thing inatokea hivi, and this is something that maybe we need to address.
Yes.
We need to address the mindset. First thing, people go into careers with the aim of making money, or making big money. You know, like, well, people say, someone said, I remember when I was young, when I was learning how to play the piano. I am a pianist, for those who know me. I know so many people watch.
Yes, they know everyone here, so they can see why I brought you behind the camera.
I also do a bit of videography here and there and stuff, and he's also hinted to me behind the camera that I also do a bit of basketballing and stuff like that. So all these things, unaona. When a parent, for example, I am a young man, and kiona pia miaka iko sawa, I'm not married yet.
Pige debe kabisa, yes. Bring everything out of it.
To something like that. No, I am just bringing this point across to show you something. There is a mindset.
Yes.
That, well, if you are a footballer or a musician or you play basketball, and you want to marry my daughter, how are you going to feed? How are you going to feed my daughter or my son from playing football? So there is something that over time we need to start creating. First thing, I would use the example of Church in Life. Church in Life is a comedy show that pays. It pays.
Yes.
And if you look at Church in Life, the way it started back then, it was not something that could pay. Like, how could you make people laugh and
then get paid?
Like,
it's like tunachekanga tukitaka.
It's a joke. You're cracking a joke. People used to make it, but then there is something. There was a change of an attitude and perception towards it. By the virtue of someone was there consistently and persistently doing it to a point whereby people change their view of it's not just about laughter. There is a certain way a person can mold their you know, they can mold their joke and make it different from the others. Yes? And when you have this clique of people who can model their jokes in a certain way, then they create what they call the laugh industry.
Yes.
And the laugh industry, you do a bit of statistics, you will get that people really earn good money.
1 hour, yeah. So there is, you're saying the end game of what we call career can be found even in the alternative, or in what I can say the creative arts industry. Yes. And now the question was, how does the engineer pedigree begin to accept? Like dad is watching, mom is watching. Now they can see their young youth, class 8, form 2, just joined campus before COVID, or joining campus very soon, just about to clear campus, and they are thinking, I need you to, like you have studied this, and because some degrees will be put in shelves. Kuna madaktari ambao wanataka kuingia the laugh industry. And how can you now, we want to convince this parent that it is possible here. How do I mentor? Like I am the renowned doctor, and my son is in med school, and I want them to be renowned doctor. But the way it is looking, this guy spends more time on their guitar or on the keyboard than on, he's not failing, he's not flunking school. But how do I mentor this child away from this mindset of doctor after me? Collins was saying, and you even hinted, the lawyer. My son is a lawyer, and like my father before me. Yes, and his son after him will be a lawyer. But now we have a change in perception and in the industry, that people are beginning to go into the careers that were traditionally leisure, per se. And that is why I'm asking, how does dad, professor, of mathematics, mentor son who wants to be professor of keyboard, professor of the ball, how do this mentorship, and that is what we are fronting. Where does it begin? Collins hinted at the relationship. You're doing nothing related to me, but we can have a conversation. And you're saying that they need to see the end goal, because dad came in with pesa iko kwa udaktari, pesa iko kwa sheria. But you're saying we need to see the end goal, that these are industries that are creating a livelihood, not just to feed one person. And you're calling it now, if this guy, the keyboardist, comes for your daughter, he's saying, kuna pesa, he has a means, and not just at a small life, but at creating the kind of legacy that you envisioned for your son and daughter. And you guys are actually fronting that as a possibility. So before we go for the break, I want you to say, how do you begin as a child that conversation with a parent?
Well, as a child, hapo kuna mawe somewhere. As a child, well, I know the microphone is still working.
Yes.
The lights are the ones that have gone off. Anyway, as a child, starting that kind of a conversation with a parent who has not changed their mindset or their perception is really, really hard.
Yes.
I am speaking this from experience. When I was a little kid, I really had a very nice voice. I really used to have a very nice voice. And I had this thing of singing and singing and singing wherever I was, singing. And nobody saw me, what are you? I wanted to really be a star, go sing, and I could just imagine myself in the stages and doing all those beautiful things that I see people do on TV. But then there was no way to convince my parent to support what I was doing at that time, because according to them, well, you're a university material, that's what they used to say. When they say you're a university material, you know what they mean?
Yes.
You're supposed to pursue one of those.
Yes, the traditional careers, to skip pilot.
Not go to the university to study music or something. So,
great. Now, and we'll come back and begin the conversation of mentoring towards now how, as a child, you begin to see your parent who is antagonizing what you're feeling as someone who can mentor you into that career. We'll take a short break. This is Keep Evolving. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned. And this is Keep Evolving, and I hope this conversation has gotten you from a place of a traditional mindset into the new mindset with an end goal. So back to our panelists, Collins. Mom and dad wanashangaa wakiangalia hii nini. How will I help this child? Like she is supposed to come through the ranks of this family, pedigree. My father was an engineer before me, and I am an engineer, and my son and daughter after me will be engineers. But kuna kamoja kanakaa ni kama this guy just wants to spend time on the football, to spend time drawing. Amechora sisi wote, amechora landscape, amechora everything that they can draw. He's running out of things to draw na anataka kupursue this as a career. Yeah. Help us decongest this mind.
Wow. So there's something I usually believe in. When you see someone is enjoying something that you never really thought about enjoying, and you call this person friend, you call this person son or daughter, or you know, a special friend, it goes a long way for that person if you show interest. And ebu acha nione, ebu tuchore pamoja, ebu tujaribu kuchora gari, unaona, ebu nirushie mpira nione kama naweza gonga, unaona. It goes a long way if you as the parent want to try to show that enyewe it's not in my line. Kwanza kumbuka nilianza na acceptance. So ushakubali hapa siwezi fanya kitu, because I think it's time we stop putting degrees kwa shelf. It's time we stop doing that for real, because imagine those, you're wasting 5 years, 6 years doing medicine just to put the degree huko. Alafu unaitwa doctor nani, lakini there's no doctor thing that you're doing, unaona. So kuna hiyo kukubali and then doing that thing with them. Also, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. Where comes this, you will go out there. You have friends. I mean, you are not alone. Piga simu moja mbili tatu hapo. Hey, my son is like this. Naomba tu nisaidie kidogo. You know, you asking for help doesn't mean that you're weak.
Yeah,
it means that you love this person so much. Wewe mwenyewe hauna uwezo, watafuta mwenye uko na uwezo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mom and dad, looking for a mentor for your son, your daughter is also part of mentorship, right? Yeah. But that conversation, Collins is saying that conversation needs to begin to happen. That yes, this one is different, and we accept them the way they are, and we can move on. We left it at some point with Martin speaking just before the break, and this was the point. How do I now come to the table and say, this guitar that I play, see your recreation, this is actually the thing that I want to do as a career. And Martin, you can, because at least this is a journey you have taken. You struggled with, you know, just telling people, I see myself out there doing big things. Help this person who is, you know, younger than us to just bring their voice to the table, to a parent who might actually block it off from the get-go. Like wewe ni wakili kama mimi. You know, my father was my your great-grandfather, and you alikuwa lawyer number 1 kwa hii familia. Now we want to say, bring that, help this person bring the voice to the table. At least aanze kusikika.
From my experience, sometimes you speaking out and telling or convincing you, not just your parents, even your siblings, or those people around you, that what you're doing can really be turned into a career is not easy. But then there is one thing that I want to help whoever is watching this that is young and taking this kind of a route, like you're right into the quagmire, like hapo katikati, so you're trying to get out of it. This is what you need to know. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have those great careers. And anything else can be made to be a great career by anybody that is consistent. I'm speaking this from experience. Anything can be made to be a great career by anybody that is consistent. If I am a guitarist and I consistently play my guitar, I know my parent really wants me to be a lawyer. Of course, I can pursue that law, like they're saying, and then your degree continue. But then, anyway, I don't want to get into that side. I just want to focus on you and your guitar. or you and your ball, you're consistently playing your ball, you're learning new skills every day, consistently, year after year after year after year. There's one thing that comes about. You will stand out from the rest. And that standing out is what creates a career. Because when you stand out, people start appreciating. When people start appreciating, then you start earning from it. Because when we're talking about appreciation, we're not just talking about people clapping. For example, as a musician, you sing and people really love to hear your voice. And you have to do a concert. So those people who appreciate your voice because you've been consistently practicing and doing it and learning and getting to listen to so many vocalists, and you've hacked because you're a musician. This thing kuna vile tu wale watu kawaida hawezi hack, but then when you listen to it, because that thing is inborn, you are able to hack. Then you do this concert and people come and want to watch or to see what you do, then that turns to be a career
true.
At the end of the day, because people will have to pay tickets. So
Okay.
when they pay tickets, they come in and then you come out of that place and you go and buy your own car, just like that.
So the voice. One word that I have picked from you: consistency.
Yes.
Consistency. And I want to spread it across the board so that it comes from the guy who you have the grades to join law school, you have the grades to be an engineer, you have the grades to be whatever you want to be, but your passion and your gifting is somewhere else, and you actually want to go there. Consistency. If you're the guy who does portraits, we want to see them getting better.
Yes.
The way you drew Mutu na Joe imekaa hivi is not the way you will draw them this year or next year. You will get better. Consistency. And I can see we are being told to begin wrapping up. But before we do that, let us speak to the fear of, I will start on this side, the fear of, yes, I can, but I do not know how to. And if you can get into the Bible and come out with someone who tried and did it, it will even be better. Our inadequacies make us fear going to new places. And mom and dad are seated here and wondering, I know 2 or 3 people who are in the non-traditional careers, but still, these grades look like they can excel in the traditional careers. Inadequacy to be the mentor. Encourage someone who is a parent who is feeling inadequate to mentor their child into these other careers.
Okay. In Isaiah, it says, behold, the Lord is doing a new thing.
Yes.
He's making streams in the desert. You see, behold, the Lord is doing a new thing. This was back when the Israelites were in exile. It's not just for them. It's always. His mercies are new every morning.
Sure.
There's a newness with God. And we have to tap into God's newness so that we can be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So that renewing, like Mato said, it's the mindset. I cannot have the same mentality from 1995. This is 2020. I cannot do the same things like I did jana. Because, nowadays, prophets hawakuangi wamevaa sackcloth. Prophet mtu amevaa suit and tie with the briefcase over there. Na atasimama pale kwa stage, aeke briefcase chini, aseme hivi ndio Mungu amesema. So, kama hawamini prophet anaweza kuja hivyo seriously. This parable that Jesus alikuwa anaongea juu ya Lazarus, the poor Lazarus and the rich man. I'm going to skip to the place where Abraham alikuwa anaambia the rich man. So you just, make me go back to my brothers and sisters and tell them that this place is real. They change their ways. Abraham told him, if they have prophets, they have other people, they have other people who God has sent them. If they can't listen to them, they will not listen to you. So usijieke tu hapa, lazima ikue hivi. Expand your horizons. I mean, hata wewe mzazi najua, ukiketi tu chini kuwe honest. There are some times you have to change your mindset. Ulikuwa unajua hii ndio hii, lakini ukajua kuna kampenyo kingine unaweza fanya hivyo. So if yourself you did that, you can honestly you can do that for your child, because as Jesus says, sisi kama binadamu with our wicked ways, we cannot give scorpions to our children when they eat fish. Snakes, yes. or stones when they ask for bread, and we are still wicked.
Yes.
I mean,
how about God?
How about God?
Awesome. Whoa. Challenge for mom and dad. Be ye transformed. Yeah. It is new normal. And so we can begin to think of the ability to mentor those children who are going away. I know people who went to med school and they have never practiced, other than internship. They never went for the license. They decided it is done. Mulikuwa mnataka nikuwe daktari, I am bona fide. Mimi ni daktari. But that is where it ends. And we are saying it is about time. Collins hinted at the 5-6 years in school. I know guys who went to law school. You know, they did a law degree. But waliambiwa wende Kenya School of Law for the postgraduate diploma, they were like, practice is not my thing. I'll be on this side. You know, because they want to do other things. And we are saying, mom, dad, guardian, you are capable of mentoring your child into these other non-traditional careers. From the get-go, from when they are in class 4, saying how they do not want to be pilots and doctors, they just want to play music, there is a way. And Mato is going to tell us where that way is. As he talks about that son and daughter who has been feeling these very many voices, being too many, and now they are getting doubt. And they are feeling like, hata haina haja. Because manze mimi, my great-grandfather before me was an engineer, and my father before me, and my grades are okay. Nitaenda tu nifanye kitu shingo upande. Speak to this kid and tell them where the way is.
Yeah, and you said from a biblical...
Yes, ukiweza. Yes.
And now I want to start from this point.
There you go.
Can anything good come from Bethlehem?
Nazareth.
Oh,
it is Nazareth.
Can anything good
come from Nazareth?
Come from Nazareth.
Aha.
That's the question. That small thing you're doing, that drawing, that playing football. Well, compared to other cities, can anything good come from it? That is where Jesus, the greatest of all, came from. That very small and despised and if you see it's written in the Bible, can anything good come from this? It means it was a place that nobody could ever imagine anything could come from that.
Coming from there.
And that is exactly the situation that so many of us find ourselves in, especially the creatives, people who are in the creative world, and athletes, sports, running. You can imagine someone runs, just running, like how many of us run? We run every day. But then there is someone who makes a living out of that.
True.
A ball is just something, you know, and goes into imetengenezwa, and then there are so many of us with balls here and we chase them. But there is someone who makes money and a lot of it from that ball. The question is, do you see yourself becoming something out of the smallest or the least of things that you hear burn within? Like you're a drummer. Like imagine just drumming. Who will you? Can anything good come from this? That is the whole question. If you are able to see, the future in your drumming here, at the point where you are right now today, then definitely one day, one time, you'll be looking. I actually look at myself 15 years later. 15.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
15.
I'm not yet there where I want to be, but I look at myself 15 years later and I ask myself the same question. Can anything good come from Nazareth? And I answer myself, yeah, sure. Yes, something good that can come from this place.
Whoa! Yes. Can anything good come from Nazareth? Hey, what a way to preacher. Can anything good come from Nazareth? That's a very peculiar verse to pick out here. But like Martin is putting it, can anything good? So it's about belief.
Yes.
It's about you with your skills to draw, to create, to innovate outside of the traditional careers. Can anything good come out of there? And if for you that answer is yes, Put your voice on this table. Mom and dad are listening, and say, Mom, Dad, I have the grades for whatever I want, and this is what I choose. You know, it is non-traditional, it is peculiar, but this is it. This is it for me. And then consistency in doing it. Thank you very much. This is Keep Evolving. And in all of hope, we hope that you are evolving even as we get out of this season into the next season. So remember, several things: like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Yeah. Let's challenge ourselves within the family to be the people who bring out something good out of the non-traditional thing. And even for the guy who still says, mimi ni udaktari tu, can anything good come out of your desire? Make it happen. Keep evolving. It's been wonderful being with you, and see you next time.